the 1960s and early 1970s, a cryptic and elusive killer terrified the San Francisco Bay Area, known only as the Zodiac Killer. This infamous criminal claimed the lives of at least 5 people, and possibly many more, while taunting the police and the media with cryptic letters, ciphers, and threats. Despite extensive investigations, the Zodiac Killer's true identity has never been discovered. Over 50 years later, the mystery of who the Zodiac Killer was remains one of the most notorious unsolved cases in American history. Who was the Zodiac, and why has he remained so elusive? Hi, I'm Zach, and welcome back to Unsolved Mysteries. If you enjoy delving deep into mysteries, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Today, we're diving into one of the most chilling cases in true crime history, the Zodiac Killer. A killer who taunted police with letters, ciphers, and promises of more murders, all while evading capture. Let's explore the facts, the theories, and the lasting mystery that still haunts us today. The story of the Zodiac Killer begins on December 20th, 1968, when high school students Betty Lou Jensen and David Fairway were shot and killed in a remote area near Vallejo, California. The couple had been on a date, enjoying a quiet evening when they were ambushed by an unknown assailant. Despite the brutal nature of the crime, the killer's identity remained a mystery and the case went unsolved. However, it was just the beginning. In July 1969, the Zodiac struck again, this time targeting another young couple, Darlene Ferrin and Michael Magnew, who were parked at Lover's Lane in Blue Rock Springs Park, also in Vallejo. After shooting the couple, the Zodiac approached their car and began questioning Magnew, who had survived the attack. The killer then told him he would kill again before leaving the scene, disappearing into the night. But this time, the Zodiac had left something behind, a calling card. He phoned the police and claimed responsibility for the attack, sending a letter to local newspapers later on. Following the Blue Rock Springs shooting, the Zodiac Killer began sending increasingly bizarre and cryptic letters to local newspapers. These letters included detailed descriptions of the crimes he had committed, as well as chilling threats to continue killing. But perhaps most disturbingly, he also included complex ciphers, puzzles that he dared the public to solve, claiming they would reveal his identity. One of the most infamous of these ciphers was known as the 340-character cipher, which the Zodiac sent in 1969. It was a complex code that baffled even the best cryptographers. Over the years, several of his ciphers were solved, but the Zodiac Killer's identity remained hidden. Despite many attempts, there were still ciphers that no one could crack, fueling speculation that the Zodiac was mocking law enforcement and the public, relishing in the chaos he had created. In 1969, the Zodiac's attacks escalated further. On the evening of September 27th, he approached a couple, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Ann Shepard, who were enjoying a quiet moment near Lake Berryessa, north of Napa, California. The Zodiac tied them up, then proceeded to stab them both repeatedly. Brian Hartnell survived, but Cecilia did not. After the attack, the Zodiac Killer drew a symbol on Hartnell's car door, a cross with a circle, a symbol that would become his trademark. He then walked away, leaving behind a chilling message that was unmistakable. He was not finished. The Zodiac continued his reign of terror, sending more letters to the media and law enforcement. By the end of 1969, he claimed responsibility for 7 murders, though authorities believe there may have been more victims. His killing spree, however, began to slow down by the early 1970s. Despite the Zodiac's increasingly public threats and letters, his identity remains a mystery. Over the years, many theories have emerged about who the Zodiac Killer could be, but no one has ever been able to definitively name him. Let's take a look at some of the most prominent suspects. One of the most frequently named suspects is Arthur Leigh Allen, a convicted child abuser who was known to have a fascination with the Zodiac case. Allen's behavior, along with his proximity to several of the Zodiac's known crime scenes, made him a prime suspect for years. Allen was a suspect for decades, but there was never enough hard evidence to link him to the crimes. He denied any involvement, and in 1992, he passed away without ever being charged. Despite this, some investigators and enthusiasts still believe that Allen was the Zodiac Killer. Another theory suggests that the Zodiac Killer was actually a copycat, someone who was inspired by other notorious serial killers of the time, or perhaps even someone attempting to take credit for crimes that were unrelated. Some believe the Zodiac was actually a combination of different killers, whose crimes were lumped together because of the media frenzy surrounding the case. Of course, there's always the possibility that the Zodiac Killer was someone who simply vanished from public view. Maybe he is someone who has moved on, changed their identity, and is still living among us today. Or perhaps he died in anonymity long ago. In either case, the mystery surrounding his identity remains unsolved. The Zodiac Killer's reign of terror may have ended, but the mystery of who he was and why he did it remains one of the greatest unsolved cases in true crime history. Over 5 decades have passed since his last confirmed killing, yet the search for his identity continues. Could we finally know who the Zodiac Killer was? Or is the case destined to remain one of the greatest mysteries of all time? The Zodiac Killer's cryptic messages, his taunting letters, and his uncanny ability to slip through the fingers of law enforcement have left an indelible mark on history. Whether we ever uncover the truth about him is anyone's guess, but the mystery is far from over. Do you think the Zodiac Killer is still out there, or has he long since vanished into history? Do you believe any of these theories, or do you perhaps have one of your own? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most puzzling, unsolved mysteries. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.